system. In this case, we're going to be looking at article archives. This system is not necessarily listed on the main menu of the USD21.org website. This is because this is kind of for history buffs and not necessarily general public content, although it's not in any way obfuscated like for any like security reason. There's nothing in this archive that is like not public knowledge. This was all published on the Portland website over the decade or so there, and some of it moved, of course, to the LA website early on. But the last year things were done in this fashion with this content management system was in 2012. There are a lot of other years listed here, but someone asked me the other day for the Partners in the Gospel articles. Now, again, this is not necessarily general content shared with the public, so there are some glitches and issues with this data, but it's still very tenable and usable, and some of it's been converted into PDF. So if you're looking for, say, the Partners in the Gospel, you would go to respective year. Now, I use Control F on the keyboard to look for things, right? So here I can find this here, Partners in the Gospel Part 3, Part 2, and Part 1. And then I can read this article archive from 2006. And then Part 2, and then Part 3. Of course, again, there are some glitches with some of the content. We'll try to clean that up in the data. But it's still tenable and relatively straightforward to read. Some articles were converted excuse me, into PDFs. So there are some, PDFs in here. If you do see a PDF, do your best to use the download option for it. Let's see, Upside Down 21. That's pretty cool stuff. Anyway, lots of great history here if you're interested. There are even some much older articles from the previous movement, even far back as 1980, and a lot of these are, in fact, PDFs. And so you can see the bulletins from 1980 at the Lexington Church of Christ. This is, again, some wonderful archives if you want to do some study on the history of the International Church of Christ as well as the International Christian Church and their evolution. You're going to see a lot of the transitional stuff happening in 2002 and 2003. And 2004, 5, and 6 are all going to be years that help define what created the necessity of the sold out movement. So happy hunting, happy reading, and thank you.